everyone. I wanted to give you a short encouragement from my house to yours. Now, when I think of a psalm about a shepherd, I automatically think of Psalm 23, written by David, that says, "The Lord is my shepherd." It's a classic. But as I've been reading through psalms written by Asaph, the shepherd imagery and the sheep imagery are used quite often in the 12 that he wrote. There are four of them that specifically say sheep or shepherd in 77, 78, 79, and Psalm 80. And then there may be a few other references to things in that regard as well. Why did this sheep imagery stick out to him? When I see how it's used, it varies. Part of it is saying that God leads his people. Psalm 78 says that he led them like a flock. He brought them out like sheep in the wilderness, and he led them safely so that they were unafraid. So part of it is this leadership aspect and giving them leaders. When Asaph writes that Moses and Aaron and David were given as shepherds of God's people. But there's also that picture of a shepherd that's giving protection. It wasn't just leading, but saying, "God, would you stand up for us? Would you be our protection?" And there's also of a shepherd hearing his sheep. Psalm 80 starts with that of like, "Hear us, O our shepherd." Now, some of why this sticks out to me is because I used to live right next to a place where sheep grazed. My neighbor had sheep, and so one time my older shepherd neighbor came over to me and said he was going to be away for a while, and asked me in case I heard any sheep making loud sounds or if I saw any sheep that had fallen on their back to pick them up and put them back over, because if they lay on their backs for just a few minutes, they can die. I had never known this about sheep before. And there's a specific way, a technique you have to use to lift a sheep back up. That way the sheep doesn't get hurt in the process as well. And I went, wow, that's got to be so intensive for a shepherd. A shepherd has to pay attention to his sheep, and even just a few minutes away can mean disaster for the sheep if the shepherd isn't able to hear what's going on with his sheep. And so when Asaph writes and asks God to hear, but is calling him a shepherd, that to me seems to say that he really believes that God does hear and listen. And so hopefully my encouragement for you today is that you believe God is your shepherd, that he does listen to you, that he does hear you. And when you're in trouble, it's not something that he's going to take a long, long time to get to you. But if there's real imminent danger, he hears and acts quickly.